He's currently running his own healthcare company, MELP, a chat based online medical questionnaire, and also working as a physician. He likes to launch 0 to 1 services and computer programming. He would like to develop an ear EEG platform for his next startup. And in case if you are curious about ear EEG, please feel free to contact him. Let us go through the entrepreneurial journey of Kazutaka Yoshinaga. This is the Guiding Voice podcast series, the Guiding Voice for a Better Future. Friends, I'm your host Navin Samala, just a fellow IT professional on a mission to shape the careers and lives of millions across the globe. And through the Guiding Voice, we drive conversations that matter, conversations that add value to your life and to your career. Successful leaders across the globe share their knowledge and wisdom with the world through our platform. And our audience will acquire more knowledge by tuning into the Guiding Voice per every minute than any other podcast in this space. Thank you so much for joining me. And today, we are extremely pleased to have Kazu part of our journey. Kazu, I'm super thrilled to host you today. Thank you so much for accepting my invite and thanks for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
So Kazu, I'm really curious. You are a doctor turned entrepreneur, and you are still continuing your career in medicine, right? So can you briefly share your career journey with our audience so that they understand more about you?
Oh, okay. So my name is Kazu for short, and I studied and I went to medical school, and I studied in Japan like 6 years education for medical school. So I studied for 6 years and then became a doctor. In Japan, 2 years internship after graduation. So it's kind of rotation period. So we have to go to each department to run the process. So every month. So I rotated for about 2 years, and then usually usually people like sit for specialty after that, like 5 years or 7 years training to become, for example, pediatrician or cardiologist or something or other things. But I am more curious about starting up my own business. So after 2 years internship, I built up my own company, which is MELP, online healthcare service, and I operated for about 6 years now. So yeah, I actually sold my company 2 years ago, but I still work under that company, and I want to start up my next business too. Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty much about me. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about how you sold the company in a while, but before that, I would like to understand from you what are top 3 things that have helped you to be successful in your professional life so far.
If I say first, my experience for studying for university and like high school examination, thereby I learned how to make a grit. I mean, how to become more patient. And yeah. So, and the second thing is I am reading a news list on a Twitter, and that's my routine. But pick up 10 or so articles every day and tweet a one-word summary or of the article or on my thoughts. So that helps me like seeing the essence of the object. And the third thing, I could get many advice how to manage company from senior managers. So those 3 things helped me so far a lot.
Studying at university helped you learn being patient and reading on Twitter. Yeah, reading on Twitter. I think Twitter has a lot of good information, and these days we see a number of users growing there. And I also find it interesting. And I'm a LinkedIn guy, but I still use Twitter. At least I log in once or twice a day. See, you are a doctor, and you had some bright career. Of course, you're still continuing your practice and all. But what made you to get into this entrepreneurship stuff?
When I entered medical university, I never thought I would be an entrepreneur. Or I was raised and grew up in very rural area of Japan, so I never knew like the career of entrepreneurship. But luckily, I came to the university in Tokyo area, so the capital city in Japan. So there are many people can come to this area. So one of my friends or classmates started up his own company while he was a medical student, and he asked me why not join him. So I said, yeah, that's a good idea. So first task I did was like building up, like writing a code and developing like computer company website. So that experience was very unique to me because before that I just studied and make a good remark was my kind of like what I was doing so far. But like developing a new homepage was completely different experience, like creating 0 to 1. Yeah. So that is why I started to think that computer programming and creating 0 to 1 would be more interesting than maybe working as a doctor. So yeah, I thought in the future I want to become a healthcare entrepreneur from that time.
Quite interesting. And how did you come up with this name MELP? MELP.
MELP stands for medical and health, the combination of those two words.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to help, the medical piece. So
yeah, makes sense. And it is easy. And I, in fact, I guessed it so, but I wanted to hear from you. And moving to the next question, did you have any other startup ideas before getting into MELP?
Yeah, actually, like MELP is the second big project for me. So before that, I run not a company but project for about 3 years, which is about IoT, like drug adherence device for middle-aged people. But it was not it was while I was a university student. I didn't know very much about the business and how to monetize those services. But at the same time, it was like hardware project. So it cost a lot of money. So it didn't work well after 3 years operation. So, and after that, I came up with other 2 or 3 ideas about software ideas, like rating doctor system, like an Uber medical version of Uber, or like hospital reservation system. But yeah, I ended up like MELP online healthcare question service. So, yeah.
Okay. And what are some toughest lessons that you have learned during this entrepreneurship?
What I learned most is for me, it's the best to create a product for which I will be the first customer. So I will, the product I want to use as a first user would be very good because I learned computer programming. So I think somehow product outbased. So before doing enough marketing research, so I tend to develop more before doing enough research. And then after making a product, I ask for people, why not use this service? But then it might not meet the demands of others. So I thought, I do not much prioritize on marketing research innately, because I want to develop more and more. So the product I want to use as the first customer would be very good. So I'm following that rule.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let's move to the next one. How did you sell your company and what kind of preparation happened? Okay. And did you get any rejections before somebody took over?
After we operated like 3.5 years, we never got fundraised. But me and one software engineer, those 2 of us operated our service. And after 3 years operations, around 200 Japanese hospitals already using our service. So I thought we finished 0 to 1 phase and maybe other big companies will buy us. So we tend to looking for potential companies to buy our company. But usually in Japan, not only in Japan, I think, but agency or intermediate company will look for the potential company to buy our company. But luckily, at that time, the other company, it's also a big company, but who want to sell our product as a distributor. So I made a contact with that company and I told them that, I am thinking of selling my company. So then negotiation began, and I thought maybe directly going to the potential company would work. So I contacted other 2 or 3 companies each, and then it became a kind of auction. So, and then I chose one from the 4 companies. So yeah, which has a better condition and no locked up period and so on. So it usually takes about 6 months for selling my company in Japan in general, but I did it very quickly because I never got fundraised. So it's very fast to make a consensus among the company, and also I directly found the potential company. So it took only about 1 month. So yeah, it was very quick.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's quite interesting to know about the journey process. And now I think you are working on your next venture already, this EEG product, right? So how are you approaching the next venture?
Oh, thank you. So MELP was a software product, and I thought, and I failed like IoT drug adherence device at first before MELP. So I thought maybe challenging hardware device again would be nice. So I came up with ear easy to be good, great an idea. So which is about we are creating earphone like this to detect brain waves from the ear, like putting electrodes inside the ear and capture brain waves. We are targeting both for consumers and also medical device. For consumers, like there are 4 stages of sleeping, like from shallow stages to the deep stages, and then we are trying to like automatically improve sleeping quality just by wearing those earphones by detecting brain waves and doing neurofeedback. And for medical purposes, like there are many abnormal brain waves, like epilepsy or seizure or other like brain disease. Currently, researchers cannot measure those subjects' brain waves 24/7 remotely, but by wearing those convenient, like daily use earphone type brain waves, researchers might know the subject's brain waves 24/7. So I'd like to create those platforms. Yeah.
Sounds interesting, Kazu. I think you are here to solve a lot of problems in the industry, and I really love your passion. So, Kazu, is there anything that the TGV community can do for you or for any of your projects?
So we are looking for hardware engineers, especially like analog electrical circuit, and also signal processing engineers and like software engineers, especially for machine learning to classify like brain waves or sleeping stages. So anybody who is interested in our product and has skill in those like software and hardware computer programming, please contact me.
Oh, wow. So this is an excellent opportunity to work with Kazu on his next venture. So if somebody is interested, reach out to him through LinkedIn, and you'll find his LinkedIn profile in the show notes. All right. So thank you for sharing those details, and it has been great conversation, Kazu. But I would like to add some spice to the episode by asking you a few interesting rapid fire questions.
Yeah.
All right. Let me kick start with your consent. What was your childhood fantasy, Kazu?
Playing with Lego. Yeah. I really like Lego. Yeah.
Oh, Lego. Next, what is the best piece of advice that you have received so far?
Studying English and computer, which was taught by my father when I entered university, and I not followed his rule, but I ended up like studying English and computer programming, and that was really good. So
Awesome. What is? Can you describe yourself in just one word?
flexible. Yeah.
Wow, flexible. And what is one life-changing incident that changed your perspective?
When I was a university student, I backpacked in India for about 3 weeks. That changed my perspective. That I thought after the journey in India, I thought, maybe I could live anywhere. So I can live anywhere.
India is a
The
beautiful
culture,
country.
culture and environment was totally different from Japan.
Yeah.
So was unique experience.
I understand. I understand. And only thing is, you guys are very punctual. So there is something called Indian Standard Time here, which many people, right, they get delayed by 5 to 10 minutes, and all that is taken for granted. Okay, so I don't want to belittle, but yeah, over a period of time, as and when more and more corporations started getting into the country, now everybody is joining on time. But typically, we have something called Indian Standard Time where people join a little late.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
on
maybe
that,
Japanese are too punctual.
yeah, I know because I've gone through my Lean Six Sigma certification, and all concepts related to Lean and Six Sigma. Majority of them have come from Japan, right? So that's why I have high respect for Japanese people, and you guys rock. You guys rock. On this note, I would like to ask you one question about Japan. Like, what kind of climate do you have, and anything you'd like to share on higher education prospects? Anything about
Yeah.
Japan?
We have 4 seasons, and also, but during the summer it's very hot and also humid, around 35 degrees to maybe 40 degrees. So it's very hot. Not so comfortable during the summertime, but spring and autumn is the best season. Yeah. So it's better to come to Japan during autumn and spring season. Yeah. And educational system, like we have compulsory education until the junior high school, until 15 years old. And most people go to high school and university, and enrollment of university is rated about 50 to 60%. Yeah. But it is said that Japanese university is difficult to get into because like examination is very tough to get into, but very easy to graduate. So yeah, there are the pros and cons.
Thank you for sharing those interesting interesting information. And let me fire the last bullet out of the rapid fire. What is one fantasy gadget? Of course, I think this question is not relevant to you, so I will ask a different question. I usually ask fantasy gadget. You are already able to build a gadget, okay, in the medical field. But my question would be, if you were given an option to pick a super strength, what would it be?
I imagine in the future, like the hologram device, which comes like virtual screen from the smartwatch will appear, which replaces the iPhone or smartphone. So we can just put the button on the smartwatch, and then like imaginary screen will show up, and we can tap the button to do tasks or other things. So yeah, I want to build that too, but someday will develop, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's quite interesting. Great rapid fire, Kazu. Now let's flip back to the mainstream. And before I let you go, one final question for today's conversation: what will be your one piece of advice to those aspiring to make big in their careers or lives? You can pick either of them.
Maybe my advice is reflect carefully on your inner self feelings, including your past interests, to find out what you really want to do. So once you find it, focus on the things without being distracted by other values. Like so
Yeah.
try to find what you really want to do. It's very difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, quite profound advice, and thank you so much. And Kazu, I really appreciate you taking time and sharing the
Me
insights on
too.
our platform. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
All right. So, pleasure to host you, Kazu. And folks, before we move into the trivia section, here is a request as always. In case if you haven't subscribed to us, please subscribe from the app where you have tuned in from. Also, if possible, please provide a review or rating in case if you are listening it on Apple Podcasts. If you are listening it on Spotify, please do follow. Thank you so much in advance. Now, let's hop into the trivia segment of today's episode. Today's trivia is about Japan. Like we heard a lot of good information about Japan climate and education system from Kazu. I would like to share a few more facts about Japan. And about 57% of people living in Tokyo use the public transportation. And that percentage, compared with the population, creates massive commuter struggles. In fact, most of the railways operate at a 199% over capacity. which forces people to smash their faces against windows to squeeze inside. The city even hires transit pushers to stuff bodies into subway cars during the rush hour. Likewise, in fact, I've come across multiple videos as well, and yeah, probably Kazu might share his experience as well.
Yeah, I also had those experiences many times, and even after the COVID, yeah, it's called pushers. Yeah, so if you want to experience that, yeah, you should come to Japan. During the
Right.
summertime, it was like disastrous because it's too humid and hot. So
Yeah, I get it. So that's an interesting and an astonishing fact about Japan. And folks, in case if you have loved this episode, please share with at least 3 of your friends or colleagues. All right. So this is your host Navin Samala, just a fellow IT professional on a mission to shape the careers and lives of millions across the globe. Thank you so much for joining me. And that's all for today. Until next time, bye bye. See you all in the next episode.